A barrage of booms rattled windows and roadways across the Gaza Strip on December 1st, as a fragile pause in fighting between Israel and Hamas came to an abrupt end. The truce was negotiated after 7 weeks of war, sparked by a Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th. But talks to extend the pause collapsed, and fighting swiftly resumed. The end of the truce brought a third phase of the war, and with it, continued uncertainty in how Israel would carry out its stated goal of eliminating Hamas, and whether its tactics, which have already killed thousands of civilians, would change. Washington Post national security reporter Michael Birnbaum was in Israel, traveling with Secretary of State Antony Blinken when the truce collapsed.
We got into the vans and started speeding toward the airport. Within just a couple of minutes, while we were still in motion, the Israelis started bombarding Gaza again. I started getting little, red alerts, push alerts on my phone saying rocket attacks are incoming to Israel. It's a pretty messy end to that trip.
Within 24 hours, Israel's military said it had attacked more than 400 targets across the Gaza Strip. That included more than 50 targets around the southern city of Khan Yunis, an area where many Palestinians from the north were initially ordered to seek shelter. Israel dropped leaflets into the city, ordering residents to immediately evacuate further south to the city of Rafah near the border with Egypt. The leaflets included a QR code linking to a map dividing Gaza into hundreds of districts, which Israel's military said would be used to communicate which areas were dangerous and safe to move into. But Gazans said the maps were riddled with problems.
The question is that a temporary area that is going to be unsafe, and are they then going to move the squares to different parts of Gaza and say that area is not going to be safe? They expect Gazans who don't have electricity, don't have telecommunications, so no internet, to scan the QR code on a smartphone that is probably dead, and to look at a map online to tell them where they should be.
By December 6th, the Israeli military said troops had entered Khan Yunis and engaged in some of the fiercest fighting in the war. More than 80% of Gazans have been displaced from their homes, and an estimated 1.9 million Palestinians have sought shelter in the south. Refugees are squeezing into tighter and tighter spaces, scrambling for dwindling aid as casualties are climbing. The catastrophic situation we see unfolding on the Gaza Strip was entirely foreseeable and preventable, said a UN official on December 6th. My humanitarian colleagues have described the situation as apocalyptic.
The IDF spokesman in particular has indicated that it believes that it's doing a pretty good job minimizing civilian death. For every one Hamas fighter that it has killed, 2 Palestinian civilians have been killed. There may be 30,000 Hamas fighters. The idea of seeing upwards of 60,000 Palestinian civilians killed is really terrifying.
As Israel pushes further into the Gaza Strip, its stated goal is to destroy Hamas. That could take years, some experts say, and in the meantime, Israel believes there are 137 hostages still held inside the Strip. When the fighting does end, Israel has said it doesn't intend to stay in Gaza.
We'll take any measures in order to destroy Hamas, but we have no intention to stay permanently in Gaza Strip.
But it doesn't look like the fighting will stop anytime soon. A UN resolution that would have demanded a ceasefire in Gaza was vetoed by the US on December 8th that argued it would only benefit Hamas. Washington has begun discussing what Gaza could look like after the war ends. The Biden administration is pushing to install the Palestinian Authority, which currently governs the occupied West Bank. It's an unpopular idea among the Israeli government, and even among many Palestinians who believe the authority is corrupt and its leader Mahmoud Abbas is ineffective.
He hasn't faced voters in a very long time. He didn't hold elections again when he was supposed to because he was worried he would lose. They're not seen as reflecting the democratic will of the Palestinian people. It can't necessarily be UN peacekeepers. Israel says it doesn't fully trust the United Nations. There aren't great answers. It's a really tricky and messy situation in the short run.